The amount of love I have for this bike is insane. What's up guys, it's Hojsak, the only Swedish motovlogger without any Swedish accent. I'm back with another Hood History. Actually, we're already at Hood History episode 3. You could say that I'm really grinding as a history teacher at this point. We are here in beautiful Stockholm city. The sun is out, the gun is out. Oh boy, do I have a scoop today that I'm gonna talk about. I've been digging through the internet, I've been hunting people down, and I found out that there's one guy in this city that's solely responsible for crashing fighter jets for about 1.2 billion Swedish crowns. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of this guy, I only have his name. I tried to find him on Facebook, I know it's weird, but I couldn't find him. But I did, however, find information about who he is and what he did. So, let's get going. So before I tell you guys more about the person that crashed planes for 1.2 billion Swedish crowns, I gotta give you guys some background history. No worries, man. We ain't got no stress today. It's all good. It's all good. So Sweden has a lot of interesting facts regarding to the Swedish army. But I would definitely say that one thing that we are very famous for regarding to our military must be our aircrafts. So except IKEA, we also have this company called Saab. And they make some dope ass aircrafts. And they also do cars, which you might know. So the Saab 93 Turbo, the Saab 900, they are famous for a lot of good stuff. But the thing they are most famous for is the JAS GRIPEN, which is a Swedish fighter jet that's very popular. I would even say that it's as popular as the F-18, F-16 from the US, because that's a fighter jet that all people know, but mainly from games like Battlefield. They have really made those planes famous. But also, of course, the movie Top Gun. Of course. So in the middle of the 70s, the Swedish army really felt the need for a new aircraft. And that's when they started to discuss different alternatives to getting a new aircraft. And this is a pretty long story, I must say. A lot of arguing within the Swedish government and so on. But basically Sweden came to the conclusion that if they only needed up to maximum 100 planes, the F-16 would be the best alternative just to buy from the US. But if they needed more than 200 planes, the F-18 would be the best alternative with some kind of license agreement with the US that made us able to manufacture it in Sweden. We needed more than that, about 300 planes. Making our own plane and manufacturing it in Sweden would be the best alternative. But then all these three different alternatives got voted down by the Swedish government of that time. Until a couple years later in 1982, we had a new government that voted for the proposition to make a new aircraft. So at that point we decided to let's just make one ourselves. And that's how JAS 39 Gripen was born. Oh, there's ducks! No! So cute. These cute things only happen when speaking about war. So JAS, J-A-S, stands for Jakt, Attack, Spaning. And this is Swedish for hunt, attack and surveillance, which means taking photo, film and pictures. Yeah, you get it. And this is basically what makes JAS Gripen the first of its kind. So what about the number 39? As far as I can tell, they use the number just to indicate that this is the 39th aircraft in the lineup that they have made. And then the only thing we have left is Gripen. And this was actually in the 80s a competition that was made for the public to decide the name. Basically Gripen is in English Griffin, and this is some kind of made up animal that's a mixture of a lion and an eagle. So that's pretty weird. But yeah, so why am I standing here? Well, I shouldn't be standing here because this is the wrong place. So how does the JAS Gripen have any connection with the man I was talking about in the beginning? Well, he actually crashed one of these planes twice. And since one of these planes costs approximately 600 million Swedish crowns, he has damaged aircrafts for about 1.2 billion Swedish crowns. And over here is one of the crash sites of the second time he crashed the planes. And it should be up here. It's so hot walking with the helmet. So during a festival in 1993 in Stockholm that's called the Water Festival, Lars Rodenbeck stalled the plane and crashed right here. So as you can see, it says here, which is pretty funny. So this one doesn't state his name, but I've looked him up. So his name is Lars Rodenbeck, and this guy was a test pilot for the Swedish Air Force. So it's pretty hard to find any information about how this crash happened, but I think he stalled the plane because he did some advanced movement that the system in the airplane couldn't like correct something, I don't know. And before touchdown he ejected himself and landed in that tree right there. So I don't know if you can see, but it's still damaged. So this is the tree that he landed in with the parachute. And this was the second crash that he did. So when did Lars crash the first time? Well, that was 3 years before, in 1989, in Linköping, during some kind of air show, causing the plane to once again be scrapped for 600 million Swedish crowns. And this is definitely not me trying to mock Lars, definitely not. I'm pretty sure he's an amazing test pilot, and as I said before, being a test pilot itself is pretty rad. I mean, come on. He's risking his life to test the plane. So the only things I've found that kind of mocks him is that the plane he was using was actually already done testing. So this version of GRIPEN has already been sent out at this point to different military bases all around Sweden. So most people believe that this was caused by him and not necessarily by the plane itself. Comment down below what you think. The first time, however, in Linköping was during a test flight, and this time they actually crashed during a landing, which makes more sense that it's a malfunctioning plane rather than him being a poor pilot. But man, he must have the most insane dad lore ever. What did you do for work, Dad? I crashed planes 2 times in a row, man. Why is there so many people standing here? I really wonder how it felt when he crashed during the air show. I mean, I know how it feels like crashing when people are watching, but imagine like having to eject yourself out of an airplane during an air show. Man. And it's pretty insane that the airplane didn't like land on someone directly, because that's a crowded place. While I stood there by the monument, I got passed by like 16 people walking with their dogs, with their babies, with their husbands. So right now we're in the city center of Stockholm, and we are heading up north to check out another thing in the same theme as this was, war. So I've heard some rumors that there might be some stuff left from the Second World War in a place north of Stockholm by a gas station that I have used a million times. That's even the place where we always meet up for group rides. And I've never seen it or thought about it before, so this is going to be an interesting one. I really hope I can reach this next place without walking, because it's like 22 degrees outside and I'm wearing full black like a hooligan. So this is the gas station I was talking about. So over here there's a big ridge. As you can see, it's like a mountain. So to prepare for the Second World War, the Swedish military began to build stuff here to counter anyone trying to use this place against Stockholm City. And there we have 2 military guys. What a coincidence! Yeah, so they are still here trying to control this place. Insane. So what did the Swedish army do? Well, basically they put up a lot of structures to hinder any enemy with like tanks and so on to get up there. It seems to be blocked by construction, which is pretty bad for me. But I'm gonna get there. Quick and dirty, in and out. If I have to walk there, this will be the last episode of Food History. This is why I should get a stark varg. Because I mean, this would have been no problem for me. But I mean, the gate is open. Yeah, let's see how far I can get before someone yells. I think I have to park my motorcycle here actually. And then I'll have to walk there. So I had to walk for ages. And now I'm gonna be like a psychopath with my helmet in the woods. Oh, people, it really looks like I'm hiding some drugs or something. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my lord. So these are some of the tank barriers that's left behind from the Second World War. And that's pretty cool. It's just hidden here. This would definitely stop a tank. It wouldn't stop any supermoto, but a tank, yes, absolutely. So these are called the Dragon's Teeth. I'm not sure why dragon, I guess that's just to make it sound cooler. So, but this was never used because Sweden was neutral during the Second World War, and these were actually finished in 1944. So they were pretty useless. And I'm telling you guys the truth. I could have said like, this is what ended the World War II, but no, it didn't. Now I just need to walk back to the bike like a real maniac. So way before people started using tanks, horses was used a lot in the battlefields as well. I mean, there were no tanks, so horses was used as a super effective way to gain grounds. But this was a long time ago. But horses are still used in the Swedish military, but mostly for competitions, parades and stuff like that. And in the Swedish military, there is actually one horse that's particularly famous. He's famous because everyone feared him. He was definitely the most feared animal within the Swedish military. This is getting absurd. When I start to dig through stuff, I tend to find the most unnormal things ever. So, in 1992, a horse was born. And back then, this horse was completely normal. They named him Morgan, and if you ask me, that doesn't sound scary, but this horse sure was scary. So in the beginning of Morgan's life, he was only a competition horse. And he was a super good competition horse until he retired and got a new job at the Swedish military. And unfortunately for the Swedish military, he did not like his new job at all. Oh man, speaking about old horses, what is this beautiful... Damn, is that a Volvo? I have no clue. Where were I? Yeah, so Morgan, he didn't like his new job. So he basically chose to become the devil horse himself. So in the steed he was known for kicking people, even biting people. One time so severely that one person actually lost their skin. So of course after this accident they had to put a mouth guard on him. Poor Morgan, he just didn't like his job. He liked it better to be a competition horse. So I thought for myself, it would have been so cool to visit this devil horse himself, Morgan. So I pulled a few strings and now we are heading to visit Morgan. Now we're at Försvarsmakten, which is basically the Swedish military. So here we can see that horses have ridden, and I'm gonna turn around here because I'm not sure where we are going. So maybe I can like put my bike here for 1 second. Yeah. So let's go visit Morgan, shall we? Oh, it's definitely not here. I'm pretty scared of staying here, actually. Oh no, not outside of the military. Yeah, so let's go. Before they shoot me, we're just gonna do like this. It should be somewhere around here, I believe. And it's really a complicated task to visit Morgan. Let's go find Morgan. Yeah, so here's the Swedish military parking lot. That's why they have such odd license plates. And here I am walking with my helmet. And I'm gonna get the biggest parking ticket ever. I did say I had to pull a few strings to come visit Morgan. I lied. This is Morgan. So, unfortunately Morgan got depressed. And in 2008, he died. So this is Morgan, the most evil horse in the Swedish army. I'm standing here like I'm grieving Morgan. And there you can see, loved, feared. I love you, Morgan. So that's all for today's episode of Hood History. Take care, guys. I love you guys so much. Bye bye.